Hey guys, Miles here, and welcome to my special end of the year Q&A video. Now, I've been trying to do a Q&A probably like once or twice a year on both of my channels, or between the two, and I hadn't really had the time to put one together during this crazy year of 2020, and I'm sure you can agree with me, a lot of things that we didn't think were going to happen happened, and the things that we counted on happening did not happen at all. So I'm kind of trying to make up for it by like throwing this video in here at the end of the year, but by the time I post this, it's probably going to be 2021, so I should be saying Happy New Year and not Merry Christmas anymore. Anyway, long story short, hopefully I can answer some of you guys' questions, and then next year I can plan on doing this with a little bit more warning ahead of time so more people can get their questions in. Anyway, without further ado, here we go, and let's start answering some questions. Before we set in here, I'm just gonna apologize beforehand if I mispronounce anybody's usernames. I'm gonna try to get them all right, but if I don't, you have to give me a little bit of grace here. So my first question is from Elizabeth Doan, and you are asking, you have two questions here, but the first one is, what do I tend to do for the holidays? And that is a question I actually love to answer because I spend the holidays with a lot of family. So whether we're here at our house or at another family member's house, we spend a lot of time together just kind of catching up and enjoying the festivities. I come from a Spanish family, so there's a lot of food involved with all of the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. We get together and we eat and we laugh and we're extremely loud, and it's always a good time. So during the holidays, that's generally what we do. And your second question is also a really good question. You asked, how do I come up with character designs? And are they based on certain aesthetics or moods, etc.? And again, that is a really good question, because I know for a lot of people, they can almost get like kind of like writer's block when they're, designing a character or trying to design a character. And I don't want to sound like I'm above anybody, because I definitely do get, I don't know what to call it, like uninspired at times, and I can't really create the content I want to. But most of the time, and I'm talking about like 95% of the time, ideas are always just like buzzing in my head. So I'll see like a picture, or I'll read a book, or I'll see, a certain color scheme, and instantly these ideas are kind of popping up. So I do a lot of sketching. Some of these characters never actually come to life, but after I get inspired and I see something, I'm like, okay, I need to create, a character based off of this feeling or this mood or this color scheme, like I said. And I'll just sketch ideas. And in fact, I wonder if I still have it. If I don't, I'll take a picture of it. And I'll put it up on the screen, because 3 of the characters, or at least 2 of the characters that are currently in my Outrun series, Rosacea and Sayonara, actually began as sketches that I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with. And it was just a random sketching session. I was like, okay, I'm gonna draw ponies in different poses with different hairstyles, and I did. I sat down and I sketched them out. Little did I know they would be stars of my Outrun series, not, a month later. So inspiration for me, at least, comes from so many different places. Another thing too is like if I imagine an ability that my character will have, like with September, she controls fire, and with January she controls, cool elements like snow and stuff like that. So, having an idea of a power that they have helps me to like create what they look like. So again, that's a lot. I'm throwing a lot at you, but that's kind of like the tornado that goes on in my mind when I'm, creating a character. And even if they don't ever amount to anything, it's still a fun process. You never know who's gonna make it to the big time. Like I said, Rosacea and Sayonara were just sketches, and now look at them. So you never know where it'll go. Inspiration hits, and you just gotta go with it. My second question today is from The Faller, and you asked, can I draw Dip Evil as a pony, and said I would love to see your design. And I am not, at least currently, taking requests or commissions or whatever you'd like to call it. But I do every once in a while give away speed paints. So if I do have another chance to post a video or I'm giving away gifts like that and you happen to win one, I'd be willing to draw whatever it is you wanted me to draw. Other than that, I don't usually, like I said, I don't usually do like requests, but if I did a video like I was just describing, then that would totally be possible. So I would stay tuned and look out for that in the future for a chance to win one of those speed paints. All right, our third question today is from Star Dream 2.0, and you asked, what is my favorite OC? And this question is so hard for me to answer because I have a lot of favorites and like probably sound like a lot of creators when I say like I really do love all of my characters equally. What I will do though is I'll exclude Twin Tails since she's, you know, the OC that represents me and the star of the channel. So I will put her aside and just look at like other characters, you know, besides her. So Twinsy does not count. Picking one is really hard, so like I'd probably have to give you like maybe my top two. And it's funny because these are the two characters that are actually fan favorites. September is definitely up there at probably number one. And then beneath her, gosh, it would be a close tie between maybe Rosacea and Biohazard. But again, that's really hard because I've kind of warmed up to Rosacea. At first, she wasn't my favorite, but I've had time to like develop her character, and now, you know, I feel a little bit closer with her. And I also love Sayonara, so they'd probably have to go hand in hand. So, you know, if I'm gonna narrow it down, it would probably be September and Biohazard. But who knows? You know, there are even characters I have that I haven't introduced to fans yet that are in the works, at least, that might be my new favorites. So you never know. Stay tuned, people. My next group of questions are from Crystal DeWolf, and you asked, number one, how do I feel with all the support that I've been getting from my subscribers? And that's an easy question because well, maybe it's not an easy question now that I'm thinking about it because, you know, there's no real way for me to describe how happy that it makes me when you guys comment and when you watch my content and, you know, when we get the chance to chat every once in a while during like a live upload. So like it's hard to sum it all up in like a few sentences even, but I couldn't do what I do without you guys. I rely on your feedback and you inspire me. So I am over the moon when I post a video and I see your encouraging comments and when I see, you know, new subscribers subscribe and old subscribers continue to become involved. It makes my heart explode with happiness. That's how I'm gonna describe it. I explode with happiness, which does not happen very often. So this is why I love YouTube and this is why I love you guys, because you make me so happy day in, day out. It doesn't matter if it was a good day, bad day, somewhere in between, you know, 2020, am I right? You guys have made it all worth it, and that's why I'm happy to be doing this video, to kind of get to answer some of your questions and kind of give back if I can. All right, your second question was what is my favorite song and why? And that's maybe even harder than the question about who my favorite OC is, because I actually have to think. I have like a handful of songs right now. But I'll give you the top one. I don't know if we have any Promised Neverland fans out there, but the opening theme to season 1 is currently my very favorite song. And I was gonna say, I know I have the name here somewhere. It is Touch Off by, I'm trying to remember who does it, Overworld, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm the hardcore fans out there going, Miles, what the heck? But yes, that Touch Off happens to be my favorite song right now, and the reason why is because it's really inspiring and it's like infectious. Like when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this day. I get into the bathroom and I'm doing my morning routine and I'm brushing my teeth and I put on Touch Off, right? And I listen to it and like suddenly I'm energized and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this day. And you know, like 4 hours later I need to listen to it again and get inspired again. But you know, it kind of gets me all hyped up about whatever project I'm working on. So that happens to be my favorite song, and that is why. Your third question is what season is my favorite, and that's easy because I am so a fall person. I love it when it's not a super hot summery time and it's not a super freezing winter time, like right in between. month. So fall happens to be my absolute favorite season, hands down. Your fourth question is, would I like to host an MAP one day? And honestly, that has absolutely been a dream of mine. I don't know though how many people would be able to jump on board with that. So I kind of have to like test the waters a little bit, see if anyone was interested before I attempted something like that. But I would absolutely love to do that in the future if I could. And your last question is, can I have a virtual hug? And that is so adorable. Absolutely. I'm sending like 3 huge, enormous virtual hugs your way. Okay, my next question is from Necro Art. So, your first question is, if each character has their own abilities, what are they? And that is a long question. I'm going to try to kind of like breeze through as many characters as I possibly can in the time that I'm given. So, let me just make sure I don't forget anybody. I'm going to make a little list here so I can go through everybody. Okay, so here's the laundry list. So, as everybody knows, September and January both have the ability to control the hot and cold seasons. So, with September, she can also control fire. With January, she can also control snow, that kind of stuff. Nova doesn't really have, like, a ability per se, like maybe an element that he would control, but he's definitely very, very good at magic, so he can do things that maybe other unicorns couldn't. So he's very strong, you know, ability-wise in that kind of a way. Rosacea doesn't really have an ability or a power, unless you count cuteness. I don't know what you would call that. She's cute. But other than that, she doesn't really have like an ability. As you know, Sayonara has the ability to see the exact moment when another pony will die, so that's her power. Biohazard, again, as you guys are all aware, has the ability to control his own blood. So, you know, he can create things out of it. As you've seen, he can create a pair of wings, so he's able to kind of fly for a little bit. He can manipulate it into different shapes and forms, so that's kind of like his ability. Scorch or Heat Stroke, I haven't really spoken about his ability yet. It'll kind of come up a little bit later, so I don't necessarily want to give anything away, so you'll have to stay tuned. If you're someone who watches Outrim, that's going to be discussed at some point. And on that note, Niacin is also somebody else who her kind of like abilities will be explained later on in the series. So again, I don't want to really give it away just yet. Anyway, like I said, more on that later. Stay tuned and hang on and it'll come up. As far as Sundancer, I think he's kind of like Rosacea because he doesn't have like a specific power other than being like ridiculously cheerful all of the time, and you know he's got like this crazy sunny disposition, you know, hence the name. But he does have like an alter form that's not sunny, and I created that kind of like complex so that, you know, when the sun is shining, he's happy and he is excitable, and then when it's raining, he drops into this really sad place and kind of like this cloudy disposition takes over. So again, not really an ability, but that's kind of like a little bit of more information on, you know, the 2 sides of Sundancer. And then I don't know that I've said anything yet about this pony, but he is my OC in the making right now, who is about to have his debut on Outrim soon enough. His name is Stormsong, and he has the ability to basically control other ponies so long as he's singing. So you will see him very, very soon. Stay tuned for that, but I think those are all of the OCs, all of my main OCs. If you've been with my channel for a really long time, then you might remember Cosmic Flower, and her ability is just to control nature and plants. So, like I said, I don't use her very much, but when I do, you know, people ask about her, and so yeah, that's her ability. All right, sorry, that was a long answer to that question. But your second question is, why does Niacin have stitches all over her body with different color fur? And again, that's another question that like I don't really want to answer entirely yet, because it will be kind of answered as the Outrim series goes on. But what I will say is, just like baseline, she has a dermatological condition that basically necessitated the need for skin graft. So if that makes sense to you, okay, but if not, like I said, it'll be explained, you know, in the continuation of the series. All right, your third question is, will we see January in Outrim? And that is a yes. She will be appearing in the series at some time. I don't know when. It's just gonna have to be a time when I feel like it's good to bring her in, but she will definitely be in the series. It just might take you a little while to get to see her. And your fourth question is, are we gonna get to see the backstory to each character? And if you're talking about all of my Outrim characters, then that is absolutely a huge yes. As the series goes on, you're going to get to know them better. You're going to get to understand why they ended up in Outrim in the first place, kind of like I've been doing so far with Sayonara and Rosacea. You're going to get to learn their story and generally just more information about them as the series goes on. So keep watching and everything will be explained in due time. Your fifth question is, does Twin Tails live in the same universe? That would be a yes. She does live in the same universe. All of my OCs generally live in the same universe, per se. Alright, number 6 was, have I ever thought about having voice characters for my characters, and is that something that I would do? And yes, I definitely have considered that. I've actually had people kind of like volunteer their voices, if you will, to possibly voice different characters in my series or even just, in my general animations. And I'm actually friends with a producer who does a lot of work with audio and music. So he's offered basically his studio, if I was to get all this together. So I have considered it. I've considered, what it might look like in the future. And while I don't have enough people willing to voice characters right now that I think would work for certain characters, if I ever did in the future, that would be so awesome and I would love to do that. Anyway, you said that's all, and thank you for answering the questions, and I have to thank you for asking the questions, because without you, there would not be a Q&A video, so thank you so much for asking the questions you did, and I hope I answered them in a way that makes sense. I know I'm a little all over the place, but again, 2020 brain right now, that's how it is. So my very last question today is from Lucy, and I'm gonna try to say this last name, Sedlakova, I think. But you asked just a little question as a game reference, are you happy? And the reference is from a game called The Horoscope. Now, I'll tell you, honestly, I had not heard of this game until I read this comment, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I have to do some research here because I don't know this game. So The Horoscope is actually a short game where you answer a series of questions that will reveal your potential fate, and I'm putting air quotes around that. The questions are known to make people uncomfortable, but the game boasts that with great knowledge comes great sacrifice. Again, I have not played this game, but I realized as I was doing this research that I had actually watched somebody play this game many years ago. They're saying that this game was released in 2020, so I might have even seen a game somewhat like it where they ask you some, uncomfortable questions and then allude to, you're being watched or, someone is stalking you or whatever. According to Steam, that they're saying this game was released in March of 2020. So again, I probably saw another game like it. There are definitely a few games that have kind of like a similar vibe, but what the game will tell you to do is to answer all the questions as honestly as possible, or something bad will happen. And given that fact, when asked, am I happy, I have to give a human response and say, not 100% of the time am I always happy, but I don't think anybody is. I try to be as cheerful and positive as I can be whenever I can be. But again, that's absolutely not 100% of the time. So if asked, I would have to, it's hard to give like a black or white answer, like a yes or no. I would have to be like, sometimes. And then, the game definitely does not offer you the option of yes, no, and sometimes. So I would probably be screwed. But that's like an honest answer to the question. And while I'm on the subject, if you feel like you want to play this game, it is called The Horoscope, and you can download it, or at least I'm seeing you can download it if you have Steam. There are probably other ways to play it. All the reviews, at least what I'm reading, are extremely positive, and it's gotten a great rating so far, so definitely worth the play, I would say. If you want to answer this question for yourself and feel like you can give a black or white answer, then absolutely The Horoscope is a game for you. Alright guys, well that was all of the questions that you guys left me on my last community post. I had a great time answering these questions. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. As you know, I try to answer everybody's comments as often as I possibly can. So again, late Merry Christmas to you guys. I hope you all had an amazing time, and like I said, by the time I upload this, it'll probably be past the New Year, so I'm just gonna offer like a possibly late Happy New Year at this point. So thank you so much for watching, and I have something important to say. You thought this video was over, didn't you? Well, think again. A Happy New Year 2021 means that I am making big changes, and one of those big changes is I am starting, pause for effect, a new YouTube channel. That is right. I am starting a new YouTube channel, and while you might be asking yourself, Miles, what the heck are you starting a new channel for? That is a good question, and since you're asking it, I will answer. I have started a new channel for animal videos. So if you've noticed, I sometimes pop a video in every once in a while of my dogs or my lizards, and if you watched my room tour, you got to kind of meet them. But I realized I've got a lot of really funny, cute videos, and like, you know, I would love to be able to share those with people. I didn't really feel like my current channel would be like the right area to do that, so I wanted to create a channel that was like just specifically for animal videos. So I have done that, and it is actually up, and there are 3 videos on there right now. So if you want to meet my dogs, my lizards, my fish, and every other animal in between, then head on over to Paws and Claws Pet Life and go ahead and drop me a comment or subscribe or just watch some videos and tell me you laughed, because that would make my day. Anyway guys, I love you all, and I hope 2021 is gonna treat you all well, as I hope it's going to do for me. And with that, I bring this video to a close. Thank you all for asking questions, and I love you, and stay awesome, and I will see you later.